guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a full service on this Cub Cadet LT42. So you can see she's pretty dirty. So the first thing we're going to do is get it cleaned up. It has the 5400 series Kohler. So what we're going to be doing is oil, fuel, spark plug, and some new mulching blades. So first thing, let's take some CRC degreaser and the Voodoo Rods pressure washer and see how it turns out. Alright, after we got her cleaned up here, we are going to be pulling this pin and that pin. So 1, 2, and 3 to drop the deck. Alright guys, so the next connection is going to be right back here. And that's going to be the one for your cable. Just another C-clip and pull out, and then you'll be able to guide this mower deck right towards you. Now once you get it pulled towards you a little bit, that one you just disconnected has a spring hooked to the deck. Get my camera to focus. It's right there. So you just have to pull up on that spring and get it twisted out of this pulley mech here. So you can take the tension off of it by pushing your center tension belt. What this does is initiate the blades. So just take the tension off of it, and then you can just slide that right out. All right, with that slid right out, the next thing you want to do is, there's this front guard. It's an 8 mil. You can just take it right off inside your belt, right out from around that front pulley, and then that's going to be the final thing that you've got to do to get this deck out. Now you can get that belt around this guard, but one little bolt and it is off. So just like that, it falls right off because it sits in a pin on the other side. Belt down. And out. Flip this thing over. Then there she is. So I'm going to pause on that for just a second and go ahead and get this oil draining. So I got my pan under it here and just pop this off. Real easy. Just twist. Maybe twist. I can see I'm kind of loose from the engine there. So let me, theoretically you're just supposed to be able to turn it and it comes out, but my plug's actually twisting back here. So let me get a wrench and tighten it. All right, grab an adjustable wrench and just give her a tighten. So now you just turn this guy and pull it out, and then there is your oil draining out. So help drain it out, I'm gonna grab a jack and just lift it because I'm slipped down and away from it. As you can see how the oil's running. So I'm gonna grab a jack and tilt it back this way. Now just for ease of access of this video, I'm gonna take this front cowl off to show you. So I'm gonna take this electrical connection off here, and then the hood just simply picks up out of its hinges. So I know it'll be tough to see, give me 1 minute. So right there you go. It just lifts up out of these hinges, no big deal. And what that does, it gives you direct access, one, to the spark plug we're gonna be changing. So you can go in behind there, pull this out right there. And then we can go ahead and twist these tabs and pull off and see that air filter. As you can see, this one looks real good, and it just pulls right off. So next thing we'll do is that oil's still draining out, as you can see. I'm gonna get a towel, wipe up all this, and then go get my spark plug socket and new plug. All right, so I just got that wiped out. I'll wipe it out a little bit better. Still draining, but now I'm gonna go ahead and before I do the spark plug, I'm gonna go ahead and take this oil filter off. And then we'll go ahead and get a pair of pliers, take these hose clamps off, and replace the fuel filter. I got a new one here. This one's upgraded, got a little magnet in it to help catch some things. This is a 75 micron fuel filter from the factory, and I believe this one's a 30. So we're gonna see, make sure it flows right. If we start getting hot and it starts to mist or something, then we know that this fuel filter ain't flowing enough. So I'll let you know the results after running it a while. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this off. All right, guys, so I got the new fuel filter on. I had to work quick because obviously I was losing all my fuel, especially with the gravity on my side since it's tilted. But the next thing I did, here's the oil filter I got to replace it. Got it at Advance Auto. It's a direct crossover from this one. Although it is a little taller, that's not a bad thing. They'll just use a little bit more oil holding it in. But that's the part number for reference. Next thing we'll do is I'm just gonna grab some new oil out of the bottle over here and just smear it around this gasket, and then I'm gonna put it in there hand tight, get it up there to snug, and then I'm gonna give it 3/4 more of a turn to get it to seat. So that's our next step. All right, so there she is on there. I wanted to note, taking off the old one, I did have to use, as I said, these clamping pliers. You can find them at any part store. They work out great. You can get right near them. But as putting it on, like I said, I get it up there to where it's hand tight, and then I'll crank it 3/4 of a turn with my hand. If not, if you have a strap wrench you can put on it, you just don't want to collapse that filter. So now the next thing we'll do is go ahead and take this rag, clean up some more in here and in the underside of that to put on the new air filter. So simply all it does is just slide on, sits into these grooves right here, and then that's it. We can put the top back on. And one thing I did also do, you want to go ahead and push in this quick release oil drain, obviously, so when you put your new oil in here in a minute, it's not going to drain right back out. All right, so that air filter's in. You can see how it seats down in there. And then here's the part number on those. I just got them off Amazon. See if you can get a clear image there. They're just like the original, but cheaper than that Kohler block price. So these guys, you're just going to turn these latches to line back up with, with the holes here. You can see it presses down in, line it up straight here, get it to seat. You can see that hole down in there. All right, so there it is seated. So now we'll lock it. Now we'll lock, give her a tug up, make sure everything's good. All right, so we got the oil filter on. Let me get a little bit zoomed in here better. Oil filter's on, oil plug shut, cap on it, new fuel filter, new air filter. So our next thing to do, I pulled this up the vent a little bit, is I'm actually, before I do this plug again, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to get my impact and I'm going to impact these blades off. All right, so we got a 24 millimeter that's going to take these bolts off. So there's the old blades. I've sharpened and sharpened. You can see they're pretty much done for. But I got these meat cleavers off of Amazon. I'll drop the part number below. But these guys right here are some hosses compared to what's coming off of it. So it's pretty simple here. You really need an impact. You can do it without one, but I'll show you what becomes the issue. You see they move. So your best bet is get your block of wood and just hold that blade right up against it. And off it comes. Just like that. These babies are girthy. So it's pretty awesome. What we're gonna do now, we can grab this guy, put him right down on there, like so. Took his 24 millimeters, what it took to take it off. So I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna tighten this one down. And of course on the mulching side of it, it's gonna, these go towards the deck, because what happens is when it comes around and cuts, the blades go up, it hits these and it chops it up further. So it mulches it even more. Now, when you torque this down, that blade's gonna wanna come towards us. So that's why this block, you'll see, stops it. So without an impact, it kind of sucks, but you can do it. So on this one, we're gonna put this on there. We know as we take it off, it's gonna spin the blade that way. Put this block in there. Just like it. Mulching side down. Oh. Drop my nut down in there. Alright, so they're on there. Well, I got this thing up. I'm just gonna go ahead and take an old screwdriver here and just bust up some of this mud and stuff that's caked on there. Not a lot on this one. I try to keep it pretty clean. And I try not to mow in the rain. So that helps save his deck. But I'm just gonna go through, scratch this thing off, flip it over, and put it back under this lawnmower. Now I'll probably have to set it down to get the jack out of the way, but that won't be a big issue. All right, guys, let's go into reverse what I just did. So let this down. You'll see I hooked that spring back up by pushing that over. Oh, my camera's on my phone. Pushing that back over, you can see that spring's back in. I went ahead, put the cotter key back in there, then slid it over, lined this cotter key up, put this cotter key back in its right position, which on this one you want to make sure it's on the 42-inch cut model. Just got some numbers on it. Top one's 42. If it'll focus. 42, 46. And then of course I went over to the other side and put that same thing in. And then just to check, raise the deck all the way up. So we got that there done. The next thing I got to do is this, my mulching cover. I need to get it to go back down inside and then get this rod bent back to where it actually goes through that hole again. So a little bending, a little finagling, see if I can't get it back where it should be. All right, now to the plug, it's out. That took a 17 millimeter, and I use an Autolite, and then there's your part number, 4164. And now we need to make sure we gap it to 25 thousandths. So I'm gonna go ahead and gap it and get that thing thrown in there. All right, guys, so the last thing I'm gonna do here, after I got that spark plug in, and I got the dielectric grease on the end of it, is I always use, here in West Virginia, summers get kind of hot. It stays pretty mild with regards to running this lawnmower. So I use this Rotella Straight 30. It does really good. It has all the detergents and stuff in it that I believe is a lot better than even a synthetic oil. So I always run just straight Rotella in almost everything I got, except my newer vehicles that have tighter tolerances on the rings. Now with that being said, I am going to put a little bit of seafoam in the tank and fill the tank up with gas, and all that's going to do is just give me a little bit of cleaner fuel system, maybe anything that's gummed up in the bottom of this carb or anything of that nature. Another thing I want to mention before I put the oil in, it takes 1.5 quarts. So we do have a little bit larger oil filter, So once I put 1.5 in, we'll get it on flat ground and I'll check it again. All right guys, so that's everything for this one. Got it in, got it together. Everything seems to be going good. Just had to put a little dab of oil to get it lined out. But fired right up, 10 PSI in the front, 14 PSI in the rear. And basically that's it. She's ready for another season. So if you guys would, please hit subscribe, drop comments, questions below. I'll get to and answer them. But until next time, let's keep building.